Hello, this is Rod, welcoming you to the 2027th edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline the 19th of November 2015. The readers this week are myself, Rod, Joan, Caroline, with Colin on the controls. The items we will be reading come from our local newspapers, the Enfield Gazette and Advertiser and the Enfield Independent, and are their copyright. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Prilly, Fernand Boulon, Harry Brewer, and performed by Jean-Jacques Perry, and is used with his kind permission. Local stories include MPs pay respects to victims in Paris. We have ruled nothing out on cycling, say council chiefs. And United we stand. And now, over to Joan, who will read the first item of local news.
And we start with the headlines in very thick print. We have ruled nothing out, insists the council's cycling supremo. And if you don't know who that is, there's a picture of him in the paper, and it says that it is an Enfield councillor, Daniel Anderson, who says that their ideas are not set in stone. Well, let's see what else they say. The council chief with responsibility for delivering the multi-million-pound Cycle Enfield scheme to the borough has insisted he has ruled nothing out from the Southbury Road consultation phase. Speaking to the Advertiser as the consultation on proposed changes in Southbury Road in Enfield enters its final weeks, Daniel Anderson, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, insisted that nothing is set in stone over plans to remove on-street parking in Southbury Road and remove the north turning slip road from Southbury Road onto Great Cambridge Road. Asked if he would consider changing the route from the heavily congested and densely populated Southbury Road to relatively wider parallel streets such as Carterhatch Lane or Bullsmore Lane, both to the north of Southbury Road, he said, "At this stage, nothing has been ruled out. For any changes to be made, they have to be safe. The whole idea of the cycle scheme is to ensure we have safe passages for cyclists. The consultation on Southbury Road is part of that process of finding the safest option for everyone, including drivers." His emphasis on the fluid nature of the consultation process comes as Tory Chase Ward councillor Nick Dines launched an attack on the plans for Southbury Road. He asked council officers if removing the slip roads from Southbury Road on to Great Cambridge Road will mean that the length of time the lights will be green will be considerably reduced. He was told in a letter from officers, "For the left turn slip roads onto the A10, we propose to reduce green time. Average queue lengths are predicted to increase by up to 4 passengers car units in both directions." Mr. Dines said, "Despite the plans for green lanes and Enfield Town getting the most attention, it appears that certain aspects of the Southbury Road plan are even more ridiculous. I urge everyone living on or near to Southbury Road to make their views clear before the consultation ends on December the 18th. Well, the next reading is headlined, "Next consultation process gets underway this week." The latest consultation on the Cycle Enfield proposals are due to be launched later this week. No details of the proposals are available to view online yet. However, the plans will go live on the Council's website on Friday. Businesses that might be affected by the plans can view displays of the proposals tomorrow at Edmonton Green Library, in Edmonton Green Shopping Centre. Residents and other interested parties can also view the plans tomorrow and on Friday. The public examination will follow the same format as the other exhibitions for the consultation process for the Green Lanes, Enfield Town, and Southbury Road sections of the scheme, with council officers and Transport for London experts on hand to answer concerns and questions. The consultation process will last for 12 weeks. The councillor heading up the scheme, Daniel Anderson, Cabinet Member for Environment, said, "Cycle Enfield isn't just about cycling. At its heart, it is an opportunity to redesign some of our high streets and town centres, making them more accessible, pleasant places to visit, places where people will want to visit more often and stay longer. In addition, cycling can play a key role in addressing the borough's poor air quality and is a great way for people of all ages to stay fit and healthy. We know that not enough people cycle in this borough, and we want to encourage more people to use their bikes, but this is also a great opportunity for us to revolutionise our town centres so that they are more accessible for everyone. We, therefore, want to hear the public's ideas to help us achieve that."
Religious leaders have united in their support for communities following the atrocity in Paris. The Board of Trustees of the Muslim Community and Education Centre at Palmer's Green Mosque declared, "We stand with you, Paris." In a statement issued after Friday night's attacks, the board said, "The cries of the innocents as they went about their daily business ring in our ears, and our prayers and thoughts are with them and their families." They added, "At times like this, we see the worst in humanity, but also the best of humanity. We look at the emergency services and those members of the public who quickly move to help and save their fellow human beings, and we should realise that within them is the humanity and love we all aspire to. We pray that they all return safely to their families." A statement from the board of MCEC in Oakthorpe Road said, "It falls on all communities to stand firm and united in saying there is no place for extremism or violence in any faith." The statement added, "Faith is never a reason for violence." This attack is an attack on mankind, an attack on all of us, Parisians, non-Parisians, Muslims, Christian, Jews, Hindus, Sikhs, people of faith and no faith. Our duty is to stand united and send a clear message. We will not let the terrorists win by dividing us. Minister Alan Coombs of Ponders End Methodist Church in High Street said the community was united in prayers after the events in Paris. The traditional French market is due to return to Enfield Town this week, and the community is expected to welcome traders. The market will be in town between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thursday and Friday. Phillip Basset of Savoir Faire and the company behind the market said that the traders had received support at an event on Sunday. "I am sure that the support in Enfield will be good too," he said. The French tricolour is flying at half-mast at Enfield Civic Centre in Silver Street. Council leader Doug Taylor said, "We are flying the French flag at half-mast as a mark of solidarity and a demonstration of our support for all those in Paris who were the victims of a series of horrific and sickening terrorist attacks at the weekend. Our thoughts are with the friends and families of everyone who was killed or injured at this terrible time, and we stand united with our colleagues in our twin town of Courbevoie in the northern Paris and the whole French nation."
Now some more on Paris. Our MPs have paid respects to the victims in Paris. The borough's MPs have paid respects to those who lost their lives in the Paris terror attacks over the weekend. The French capital was targeted in 3 separate incidents, leaving at least 127 dead. Enfield Council flew the French flag at half-mast, as you've heard, with schools and workplaces hosting a minute's silence to pay tribute. Enfield Southgate MP David Burrows paid his respects to the victims. He said, "Our hearts and prayers go out to the families of the victims of the Paris massacre. It was an attack on individuals expressing the freedom of a civilized world by individuals expressing the terror of an uncivilized ideology of militant Islam. We must stand and act in solidarity with France and be vigilant and resilient to repel ISIL." Enfield North MP Joan Ryan added, "I am shocked and saddened by the tragic events that took place in Paris on Friday night. I mourn the terrible loss of life. I offer my deepest condolences to the family of the 129 victims and the many injured, as well as the citizens of Paris. We stand in solidarity with the French people. The values of liberté, égalité, and fraternity are our values too. Together we will remain resolute in the face of these outrageous attacks against our democracy and way of life." Edmonton MP Kate Osamore said, "My thoughts go out to all those who lost their loved ones in the attack, to all the people of Paris, and all those affected by the violence of Islamic State worldwide."
Now, shoppers are to get another taste of France. Enfield will be saying bonjour once again as the French market returns this weekend. The market in the town, Enfield, will be open from Thursday to Friday in the town between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. The authentic French marché will also feature traders from Spain, Italy, Morocco, and other exotic locations. The market will have 20 stalls and will be packed to bursting point with enticing goodies bound to tempt Enfield market shoppers. This is the 2nd November in a row Enfield has had of a French-themed market. A French market also came to the borough in April 2015. Stalls will include the finest French delicatessen charcuterie and cured meat, French cheeses, saucisson, crepe, bread and snacks, Spanish panella and fajitas, Moroccan couscous, Italian confectionery, and much more.
Fundraisers crammed into a car in a bid to raise money for children in need. Parents and children dressed up for the occasion, which saw 18 people squeeze into a new mini clubman. The fundraising day also saw a convoy of cars parade through Enfield Town High Street. The challenge was set at Enfield Market and Fountain Island. Emma Rigby of Love Your Doorstep helped to lead the fundraising day with fellow workers. She said it was fantastic to see so much community spirit supporting a worthy cause. Enfield should be really proud. The community group has so far raised £300 for the charity. The day was organised by Steve and James, who are based on the A10 Enfield, and provided the cars. A spokeswoman said, "At Steve and James Enfield, we are all very excited about the launch of the new Mini Clubman, and we were delighted to be able to use the arrival of the new model to raise money for children in need." The event was featured on Friday night's Children in Need special on Friday night.
Calls have been made for a cabinet member to resign after he swore at a councillor in a debate over trade unions. Labour councillor Andrew Stafford, cabinet member for finance, called Councillor Georgiou a four-letter swear word beginning with C in full council last Wednesday at the Civic Centre in Enfield. While Councillor Georgiou was discussing the forthcoming trade union bill, which seeks to tighten laws on industrial action, Councillor Stafford swore at him. This resulted in all opposition councillors walking out of the chamber mid-debate, leaving just Labour councillors to continue. Councillor Terry Neville said, "You could not believe someone would do that. It is a disgrace." The councillor has now called for the cabinet member to step down. He added, "We are talking about a senior member. He was acting like a lout in front of younger members. We will be filing a formal complaint and we are calling for Councillor Andrew Stafford to stand down. He should hang his head in shame." The meeting saw council members debate the future of the Greenbelt, as well as the housing crisis. Councillor Achilles Georgiou of the Labour group told the Enfield Independent the incident was regrettable. He said it was a passionate and heated debate. It is a shame the opposition left before we had finished debating. That does not justify the incident. It was regrettable, and he apologised straight away. The Labour group councillor revealed they would be looking into the incident and would make a decision on the matter.
Lights shine bright as a switch on. Selfies were taken and snow was sprinkled as Christmas lights went up in Enfield Town Shopping Centre. Children Luca Pantelli, 8, and Martha Hunt, 4, helped turn on the lights in the Palace Exchange in Enfield Town at the weekend. The pair won a Facebook competition to help with the switch on as crowds gathered in the centre. A plethora of excitement and entertainment were put on show for shoppers on Saturday, including Christmas comedy shows, stilt walkers, and jugglers. Holly and Ivy, a beautiful pair of female reindeer, were also a big hit with shoppers, as was Snowy, a delightful little barn owl. Children dressed up to take Elfie selfies in a sleigh on display outside Pearson's. Santa's parade, led by Enfield Brass Band, set off from Palace Exchange and led performers and shoppers to the Christmas tree in Palace Gardens, where crowds had gathered to see the lights. Paul Duke, centre manager at Palace Gardens, said, "We would like to thank all our customers for making it such a fantastic start to the festive period. They really made it a great day for us, despite the rain. Their enthusiasm throughout the day was really brilliant." And there they've got a picture of Christmas lights switch on at Enfield Town Shopping Centre, and there are two rather elderly, I think, gnomes dressed in green, both with pointed hats that were green and brown, and a touch of red, and behind them and the tree is a fairy godmother, I think, judging from the blonde curls and a wand with a very sparkling star at the top of it. What more could anybody ask?
There are more than 5,000 fewer smokers in Enfield than there were 2 years ago, according to latest figures from Public Health England. There has been an unprecedented increase in the number of smokers packing it in since 2013. The majority choose to give up because of their health risk and also because they can no longer afford to smoke. About 400 people die as a result of smoking in the borough each year, and for every person who dies, there are 21 people with smoking-related illnesses. The reduction is testament to the work of many people in the borough to improve the health of everyone, says Nika Kieser, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Public Health and Sport. Smoking is the greatest cause of death and disease among residents, and the fewer people who smoke, the healthier our borough will be. The figures support earlier data showing Enfield has the lowest rate of 15-year-olds smoking in the country and indicates smoking is becoming less and less acceptable throughout the borough. Ms. Kieser added, "There is only one message about smoking, and that is not to start, or if you do smoke, to stop. The council's recent work in asking people not to smoke outside school gates emphasised that smoking in front of children gives them completely the wrong message, and also that smoking ruins your health as well as your finances and your looks."
A couple that only went on 2 dates before tying the knot have celebrated their diamond wedding anniversary. Jim, 80, and Maureen Macmillan, 76, of Winchmore Hill, were sent a telegram from the Queen to commemorate their 60 years together. "She was my friend's sister, and I had just come out of the army," recalled Mr. Macmillan. "We went on 2 dates to the pub, and then on the following Monday I told her not to go back to work the next day because we were getting married." After getting married in Islington, the couple moved around whilst working where they could to make ends meet. Mr. Macmillan added, "It was very tough in those days and completely different to now, but we were happy together." The couple then moved to their Winchmore Hill home in 1968, where they had brought up 3 children and now have 6 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren. The 80-year-old opened his own greengrocers in Islington, where it stood for over 20 years. He revealed the reason for their long-lasting relationship is solely because of his wife Maureen. He said, "I would say, quite honestly, it's because Maureen is so nice. She cares for everybody, she really does, and I get a bit sentimental about it. I could not have done it without her. I have always worked away, and she has been so selfless in bringing up our children. I am the luckiest man." The couple celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary with a party at the Royal Chase Hotel in the Ridgeway. Working hard has been ingrained into the sweethearts, with Mr. Macmillan only retiring 2 years ago after 62 years of hard graft. He said, "I have worked everywhere, from 16 to 78, but it got a bit too much for me in the end. But while I was going all those hours, Maureen has been doing everything else for me. She is an incredible woman." Asked about highlights in the marriage, Mr. Macmillan said, "All I can say, although we were poor, we still had good holidays and spending time with our family." Good on them.
Police appeal for help to find missing Krishna. Detectives are asking for help to find a 20-year-old man who has been missing for more than 3 months. Krishna Chumun was last seen just after midnight on August the 8th in Edmonton. He later used his phone from London Bridge to send a message to a friend, but has since made no contact with family or friends. He has never been reported as missing before. Police are becoming increasingly concerned about his welfare and are appealing for him or anyone who knows him to get in touch. Mr. Chamoun is described as a slim Asian man and 5'4" tall with black hair. He was wearing a black hooded tracksuit and black jogging bottoms with black mesh Nike Air Max trainers when he disappeared. Police have made inquiries in the Edmonton and Enfield areas over the last 3 months and have now made a public appeal to help find him. Anyone with information is being asked to call Enfield Police on 0208 345 3332 or 0208 345 4347 or the charity Missing People on 116000.
A campaigner has issued a stark warning over the council's plan to up the numbers of volunteers in the borough's libraries. Susan Chin, chairwoman of Highgate Library Action Group and one of the founding members of the Libraries for Life for Londoners group, was instrumental in the grassroots campaign which saw Haringey Council retain all its libraries. While Highgate Library does use volunteers, she told the Advertiser that many of them are former employees who feel responsible for keeping the facility alive. Volunteers need extensive training before they can do anything, and even then they can only really do things like shelve books and act as greeters, she explained. But these greeters patently do not work. They are supposed to welcome people who come in and direct them, but they found that people do not like approaching people, so it was a total failure. On top of that, volunteers need so much training and help that it actually stops librarians from doing their important work, like working on displays and finding out what the library needs and checking on the latest publications. Really, volunteers can restock shelves and that's about it. Ms. Chin added that the libraries needed properly trained staff now more than ever before, as with cutbacks in every other area, older people, disabled people, young people and children would come to rely on libraries as a place of sanctuary. When you look at how tiny the percentage of budget is spent on libraries and the value of the work of librarians in helping young people access quiet study areas, helping unemployed people search for work on the internet, running toddler sessions and study sessions for teenagers, it is an invaluable resource in times of economic hardship, and local authorities are mad to try and cut corners in providing this service. However, Enfield Council's cabinet member in charge of libraries, Aoife Orhan, insisted that residents could reap rewards from volunteering. She said, "We want to harness the energy and enthusiasm that Enfield people undoubtedly have for their libraries, and we can offer a number of opportunities to those who are interested in volunteering." Details on open days for people interested in volunteering are taking place throughout November, and more information can be found on www.enfield.gov.uk.
We have now reached the end of side 1 of this tape. Please stop your machine now, take out the cassette, turn it over, and start side 2.